Hi guys, the far right have moved from attempting to incite violence against asylum seekers and immigrants to focused attacks on the Prime Minister, it seems. And while Farage has been pretty quiet during the rioting, he now seems to have come out from under his rock and sees an opportunity to blame Keir Starmer and make some hay out of the situation. Here he appeared on Nigel Farage-friendly Fox News, where he compared the riots to the BLM ones in 2020, where Starmer took the knee in solidarity with Black Lives Matter. While this all sounds good for Farage, of course he's leaving out important information.
This is the most serious violence we've had since the Black Lives Matter protests in the wake, of course, of the murder of George Floyd back in 2020. Funny enough, Sir Keir Starmer, our Prime Minister, at the time of the Black Lives Matter riots, when police were being injured, when historical monuments were being torn down, he chose to take the knee in solidarity with the aims of those who were out doing the protesting and causing the violence.
Okay, that's not true. Why are you always lying, Nigel Farage? They happened at different times. So the rioting took place towards the end of May, and the knee incident, if you want to call it that, where Keir Starmer and Angela Rayner took the knee, was in June the 9th, I believe, following the funeral of George Floyd. So the rioting took place during May, and he took the knee in June. So he didn't take the knee during the rioting. The rioting had ended by then. But the focus here, of course, is on Keir Starmer. But Boris Johnson, who was Prime Minister at the time, had said that there are legitimate concerns people have in regards to racism in the police, and he showed solidarity to a certain extent. He didn't take the knee, but he showed solidarity with the goals of the protesters. But there's no mention of Boris Johnson here.
But now the boot's on the other foot. Now it's seen to be white, working class British people that are protesting. And by the way, I'm not defending violence in any way at all. No, now he wants to take control of the narrative. Now look, nobody should use any social media platform to genuinely spread hate or incitement to violence. And
oh my goodness. But put that out there, Nigel, just to cover your arse.
And that free speech rule, I think all of us would support and agree with. But what we are allowed to do on social media, or should be allowed to do, is to speculate, is to ask questions, is to try and put facts out, that wake up the rest of the community.
What the hell does that mean? You didn't put out facts. The main criticism pointed at you is that you were suggesting that there was a cover-up. You were almost claiming that there was a cover-up, that the police was not providing information to the public. You knew that he could not be named. The police could not give information about this killer because he was underage. You knew that. Then you talked about there were reports that he was an asylum seeker. There were reports that he had come across in a boat. There were reports that he was Muslim. You have a massive platform. People responded to that. If you had said nothing, it's possible that there may not have been these riots, or they wouldn't have been as severe. So what Farage is trying to do here is people during the Black Lives Matter protests were rioting, in some cases, in regards to the death of George Floyd. Now, whether that's right or not is another thing. But what the people were rioting at, trying to burn down asylum centers, were based on this idea that, well, the killer was a Muslim or the killer was an asylum seeker. And how did they get that information? Well, some of them got it from Nigel Farage.
And when you're engaged in something like that, you can never ever guarantee that what you say is 100% true. You may think it's true at the time. You may ask a question whether it's true. Now, Starmer, by cracking down on that, poses, I think, the biggest threat to free speech we've seen in our history. And Elon Musk has caught wind of this. You see, I think the reason Musk has been going for Starmer over the last week is he knows what the reaction is going to be. And can I just add, worse still, there is a proposal today that from the age of 5 years old, our kids in schools should be taught to spot extremism, to spot fake news and misinformation, and to use their powers of critical thinking to work out what's true and what's not. Now, by the way, I believe in critical thinking. However, if the parameters that are set are to say to every kid, if you read a post that questions net zero and global warming, it will be extreme content and a lie. If you read a post that even dares to question levels of immigration, legal or illegal, into Britain, that's extremist, then you start to set a narrative for a future generation that is fundamentally undemocratic. So I am...
He's afraid that he would not be able to spread his lies anymore. That's what Farage is afraid of. You know, his entire career is built on lies. He managed to get Brexit over the line based on lies. He helped Boris Johnson win an 80-seat majority based on lies. His party is based on lies. So, of course, if young people are taught critical thinking skills, if they're taught how to identify misinformation, this is the end of Farage's career. If Farage doesn't care about young people, he doesn't care about... Why didn't he come out and condemn the rioters as soon as it began? Because he saw an opportunity there. He's a political opportunist. We know this. We've ample examples of that. What he's trying to do is protect himself and liars like him. Now, the whole ironic part about all of this is that the people who were arrested, the people who are about to be imprisoned, were imprisoned over or convicted over existing legislation. Some of it goes back to 1985, long before the internet, long before social media. This isn't Starmer entering from day one and pushing through legislation that would put people in prison over tweets. This is based on existing legislation. But Farage doesn't want people to know that. It's a clampdown on people's freedom of expression. The other irony here, of course, is that freedom of expression is protected under the European Convention on Human Rights, something that Farage wants to get rid of. So when Farage talks about free speech and protecting people's right to express themselves, it's a big pile of you-know-what. Because he's not interested in that. He's interested in being able to lie and go unchecked. He wants to be able to further his career, either be it political or social or media career or whatever. If he truly cared about people's free speech, he would be demanding that Britain remain part of the European Convention on Human Rights. But no, he's not. So, of course, his fans will come out and say, Nigel is a hero of free speech and he cares about British people and he cares about people being protected from the far left or whatever. It's a pile of crap. We know that. But unfortunately, he has big backers now, like Elon Musk, who's an internet troll, who's more interested in just driving revenue to his site, engaging with the worst type of actors possible in order to make money. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.